Hello, I'm Don Dzurick, the Chief Judge for the Antique Motorcycle Club of America, or the AMCA as we commonly call it. Our judging program, we believe, is the best in the world, hands down. We use volunteer judges that are a collection of owners, restorers, and collectors, but all of them share the same passion and enthusiasm for preserving their motorcycles and keeping them alive for the next generation. This club is comprised of over 11,000 members. We judge approximately 500 motorcycles per year, and all of this is done through the help of these volunteers. My job today is to convince you through this video that you would like to become a judge for the Antique Motorcycle Club of America. I know you can do it. If you have an old motorcycle in your garage, I know there's a passion there that we can expound and use in our judging system. Please join us at one of the national meets. We have over a dozen every year, both in the United States, Europe, and Australia. You are welcome to join any and all of us at these meets. There are normally registration tables with national people there where they can steer you in the right direction to either meet me in person or my representatives for the national, and we will help you become a judge for the Antique Motorcycle Club of America, which once again is the most unique and best in the world. So why are we watching a video today? You think you know something about motorcycles, and we have a club that has 11,000 other members that have the same idea. Well, if we're going to judge motorcycles for the AMCA, we're going to take your experience either as an apprentice or as a mark specialist, and we're going to show you how you fit into our judging system. We're going to display the guidelines and parameters of this judging system and how it works and how you can become a part of that. So why would you want to have a motorcycle judged or become one of those judges? Our passion in this club is to preserve either restored motorcycles or unrestored motorcycles in their condition as they left the factory. And through this, we want to be able to pass these machines to the next generation to enjoy them as we have, both on the road, in a museum, or in your garage, which is the best place. So why don't you throw a leg over that bike and give us a chance to teach you how to become an AMCA judge. To maintain uniformity in our judging program, we have forms, guidelines, and handbooks that allow us to take all the professional input from our mark specialist and field judges and maintain a balanced program where every motorcycle gets treated the same. You'll see here, this is an example of a judging sheet that would be issued and used on an individual basis for judging a machine. The criteria for that machine being entered does not change. It must be in running condition, and that condition must be displayed at the meet to a judge so that this form can be checked off. It also has to be 35 years of age or older for that year of the meet. Another important document that we use in the AMCA judging program is our guidelines to judging. No one can be expected to remember everything about every motorcycle. So we have put the point deduction part of this into this guidelines so that it can be reviewed on site and used as an important part of our judging system to keep everything on an equal basis. If this guidelines are used in California or in New York, the motorcycle has the same chance of scoring in either place, and it should be within a reasonable point spread. That is the purpose of our judging guidelines. Besides being 35 years old and having to display starting, what do we look for in a motorcycle in the AMCA judging program? The easiest answer to this is we are trying to visualize a motorcycle the day it was delivered to a dealer from the factory. No accessories, just basically the order blank form motorcycle from the factory. This includes all aspects of the motorcycle: paint, accessories, tires, and that's what we're looking for, either in an unrestored or restored fashion. When we break these down into restored and unrestored, there becomes a minor difference in the point values, because basically a restored motorcycle could be judged as a perfect machine and score 100 points. That is a possibility. It is very difficult to do. It is challenging to do, but it has been done. Our unrestored machines are a little bit more subjective, and they will not become a 100-point machine because it is impossible to rate the wear and scratches and age marks. Our judging system consists of a team of judges that will pick a team captain when they are approaching a motorcycle to judge. The way we do this, it can range from 2 to 5 people on a team. Our perfect number would be 3 if we can get that. We do like to include a little bit of judging training as we are doing a motorcycle, but we do not want it to turn into an hour-long judging seminar on one machine. So we have time limitations. Our judging across the country runs from a meet that could have 35 motorcycles to 80 motorcycles. So time restraints are definitely in place. So if we have 80 motorcycles to judge, you know why we are asking you to join our judging teams. The more the merrier. If we can get 25 or 30 people on the judging floor, everyone's workload is a little less, and we can all enjoy the ride home when we're done. Judging normally takes place the last day of a national meet, so people are getting ready or planning on having their bikes judged and then a nice trip home. Our judging system starts as a 100-point machine. As the judges walk around and find discrepancies from what they feel is a factory original bike, they will deduct points using our guideline, and all of that should be consistent from coast to coast. So why would anyone want to have a motorcycle judged? Good question. Our system is unique in that we give back a detailed description of everything that the judges have found on a machine to be non-factory or non-original. So if a person wants to restore a motorcycle, or if they found a motorcycle and they want to bring it back to what they think is going to be the factory standard, they actually have a little cheat sheet to go by in a detailed form that is given back after the judging. After the points have been allotted, the motorcycle will either stay where it is and not be awarded if it is below 85 points. 85 to 90 points is a junior second award. 90 to 95 points is a junior first award, and 95 to 100 is a senior award, and the second time out it becomes a winner's circle award. Our judging system has been in place in its current form for over 30 years. But as in anything else in life, it has to change to meet the times. So our judging form here, as we see it, is a culmination of 25 to 30 years of experience on the judging field being put onto paper for us to use to judge a motorcycle. As I have previously stated, our judging is a 100-point system, and it consists of 25 categories that are divided up into 4 points each. As we go through a motorcycle, each one of these categories will be examined and any deductions will be noted on the judging form in a precise, clean script so that everyone can read it. That's for you judges, by the way. And when we're all done, these forms will be brought up to a tabulation table where the final score will be awarded, and that score will determine if any awards are to be given for this motorcycle. I'm going to say, unfortunately, some motorcycles are entered and they will not receive an award. But you know what they do get? They get a precise, detailed copy of their judging form that instructs them on what they can do to improve the quality of their machine if they so choose. But I'll tell you another thing. There are motorcycles that have come in for our judging that I tell them, leave it alone. Our number one priority in the AMCA is to preserve motorcycles. If I see an excellent example of a 1950 Harley Davidson that does not meet our judging criteria, I tell that person to ride them and enjoy them and bring them to our meets for display. Do not, by any means, change that motorcycle to fit our judging program. Now, does that sound strange? I'm the chief judge and I'm telling you not to have your motorcycle judged. Well, when you become a member of our club and talk to other people, you'll understand why that's not strange at all. This is just an award system for people that choose to do that. It is not meant to change motorcycles. What are the qualifications to be an AMCA judge? I'll tell you, they're very simple. You must be a dues-paying member of the AMCA. And I would hope you have a passion for antique motorcycles. Do you need experience? No. If you have experience, that's great. We are more than willing to use the information that you have on any motorcycle that you have, and we will help you become a qualified judge for the AMCA. This may take a while. You may have to stop back and visit us a few times, but I'm sure it's quite painless and you will enjoy the process. If you choose to continue in the AMCA judging, we have different levels of expertise. Naturally, you'll start out at what we call an apprentice stage. As your experience grows and you remember what your fellow gurus tell you about the motorcycle, you'll progress to a field judge, and perhaps if you stay long enough, you may become a senior judge. There's also the possibility that you are a senior judge already and don't know it. We have to put you on a judging team and find out the expertise you have, then we can give you an answer on that. Try not to, if you're on a brand new bike, we don't mind having a little extra time on it. Our motorcycle judging is broken down into classifications that normally run in a 10-year span. The first classification runs from 1919 and older. From there on up, we go into the decades and we break down these motorcycles no matter what the make or brand. We go by the year. And that brings up a good point. Why would people want to become an AMCA judge? Because maybe their dad had a 42 WLA and they want to bring this back in memory of him. Well, the best way to do that would be if you join us on a judging team at a national meet and you judge a WLA, you will learn the specifics of that machine. And when you're all done, don't forget, your judging form will have a detailed example of what to correct on that machine, if you so choose. So that's why if you judge a motorcycle from the 40s, you will learn possibly something that's correct for your bike or incorrect for your bike. But you'll be able to do that over 2 or 3 different years and add up the knowledge when you're all done and put that into your machine. And here we are. What is every AMCA member looking for with their judged motorcycle? This is our perpetual award. It shows that you have won a junior first award. This would be 90 points and above on the judging score. Also, you get a motorcycle medallion for your license plate. If you continue in the judging process and attain the next step up, which would be 95 points, you will receive a senior award. If you continue in our judging process and maintain 95 points, being a senior award winner, the next time you have your motorcycle judged, you will join the people in the winner's circle class. If you have progressed through the judging system and attained the winner's circle award, this is indeed the most coveted award in our club. I believe our original founders had this in mind when they got together in their backyard, that they wanted to protect motorcycles for future generations. And the people that have gone through this system and attained the winner's circle are now free to ride these bikes, enjoy them, and they do bring them back to our meets. We encourage our winner's circle members to come back and show their bikes on display so that others may have an example to copy or look at if they are working on a machine of the same make and manufacture. So it is indeed a pleasure to hand out these awards and to see these people coming back to our meets and bringing these machines to put on display. One of the keys of our judging system to make sure that we have consistency from one coast to the other is our judging guidelines. A few years back, we assembled a judging committee and we wrote these guidelines with the help of approximately a dozen motorcycle experts across the country and across the world. What we were trying to do is give the expertise of a senior judge and put that into points form so that a brand new novice judge could see where we were in pointing a particular deduction and why we were doing this. So this guideline is a handy reference book for a senior judge or someone just coming into the judging field. In fact, when we developed a judging team on the field, it would be great to have a person with a guideline copy. Another person would be the scribe, which would be handling the form and the clipboard, and the third person would be the team captain. Previously, you have heard me make reference to our judging guidelines. I would like to show you an expanded copy of this. This one pertains to the front wheel and tire. There are categories for this individual, the front wheel and tire, that we have to check as judges and make deductions as appropriate. You will see in the video later on, as the actual judges do this, we will point out these examples as we go through them and use this chart as a point deduction guide. Once again, our guidelines come into play. These three categories are the stands on a motorcycle. Most motorcycles have a center stand and side stand. The instruments, some are plain Jane and have no instruments. Others have speedometers and tachometers. And this pertains to the electrical system and the generating system. You will see when we go through our judging of the motorcycles later how these three categories are point deducted on that particular machine. The paintwork for an unrestored motorcycle, as according to our judging guidelines, is truly one of the most difficult categories to judge on a motorcycle. It is very subjective in nature. The best way to do this is through experience. Our mark specialists have seen original examples of these motorcycles for many, many years. So their insight should always be appreciated when on a judging team. You can learn a lot from what they can tell you about original paint. One of the main points of our AMCA judging has to be brought forth. In the early days, it was more of a People's Choice Award, where if 10 of your buddies were there and they thought this bike was the best thing, that's what got an award. Our AMCA judging program is not competitive. Everyone is a winner in our system. We are judging that motorcycle to the way it came out of the factory. So that is the owner or restorer's challenge. It is not a challenge against the bike next to you or the bike shop down the street. Our judging system is very unique in this concept. As in anything else, time changes everything, and that can be said of our judging system. We have progressed over the years and the decades to different judging forms, different highlights on those judging forms, different ways we look at motorcycles to be judged. It is an always changing process. We are looking to expand right now into video judging, virtual judging a motorcycle. This is no longer a test. We have been doing it for approximately 14 months at almost every meet. We have judged motorcycles virtually from continent to continent. So the technology is there. As our bars increase, so will our judging performance in this area. But we are looking to expand our mark specialists through this program so that basically if this motorcycle is coming in for judging, we hope that one of the 3 times it is judged, we will have a mark specialist either on site or virtual through streaming to be able to look at this motorcycle and give the best assessment available. All right, well, here we are trying to give you an example of how a judging team works in the AMCA. Number 1, we have to not touch the motorcycle. And if you are around it, it is so easy to do. However, we have the owner of this machine that has allowed us to judge the bike. He also has graciously allowed us to touch the motorcycle. And by touching, I mean if you are judging a bike and you need to see the serial number that is on the headstock, normally it would be easier to turn the handlebars and move the card, and then you can look at it. So this function would be done only under the owner's approval on a normal judging. As I say, for our video demonstration, we have the owner's permission to move the motorcycle around at will. We also, for this judging, are doing a virtual judging. So if you hear someone yelling at us from Florida on that telephone, that's Bob Anderson, and he's halfway across the country, but he is a marked expert in Honda motorcycles. So he will be weighing in on the judging of this machine. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Dave Carlton and our video judge.
Thank you very much. Well, let me introduce the rest of our team. We have the lovely Denise, and we have our good friend Jack, all mark specialists in Japanese motorcycles. So fortunately, we have three folks who really understand these bikes, and I will be the first to admit that I am not a Japanese mark specialist, so I'm going to be the fellow doing all the administrative work, supporting Bob in the actual video evaluation of the motorcycle and having his comments shared with both Denise and Jack. So with that, and without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing we did before we actually start looking at the bike is we did examine the motorcycle to make sure the VIN was correct and there was no inconsistencies between the frame VIN and the motor VIN, and that most importantly, these VINs were, in our opinion, authentically placed on the motorcycle and correctly placed on there by the factory. So there was no doubt in our mind as to the authenticity of it. The second thing, which was very important, is we've actually seen this motorcycle run. It's not an art object, it's actually a real living, breathing motorcycle, and that's part of the requirements that we have. We don't judge art objects, we judge motorcycles. So that's part of it.
I noticed it's got crash bars. That's not a Honda part, so it's an aftermarket part, but I could see that it's a period correct aftermarket part. If I were there, I would write it up as a non-correct part, but I would not delete any parts, any cost for it, because it's period correct.
Perfect, okay.
Okay, so note.
Note period correct crash bar, no points deduction.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we are now looking at the front tire for any deviations from as manufactured. So, Bob, can you say anything that would be noteworthy?
No, nothing except that it's just incorrect for that bike, and we can, we've already hashed that out.
Yeah, so we have incorrect tread and some question on the size, believing that it was an OEM should be 350, 375. This is actually a 9100 by 18. So we'll look at the guidelines to see what they say. They're well hidden.
Yes, very well.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Oh, quick question for my part. We have what appears to be some inconsistency over the cover for the clutch, and then apparently this for the points, possibly.
That's the alternator cover.
Alternator cover, yeah. So this
Yeah.
appears to be in much better shape than the clutch cover. Is that correct?
Well, the alternator cover will be chrome plated.
Chrome,
it's chrome,
The
yes.
cover will be
Yeah.
polished aluminum. They didn't really polish them
No.
all that well, but
Yeah.
they cleaned them up real good, and then they clear coated them.
Right.
And it's not unusual for the clear coat to start wearing off.
Which I think we're seeing. Yep.
Yeah, we call that patina, and on an original bike, you're almost guaranteed to see that.
Understand. Cool. All right. And the same with the valve covers.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That's consistent with a bike of that age.
Cool. Let's
Okay.
walk in place.
And as a point, to make sure we don't do what is called double dipping, we are looking at the clutch as part of this. We've already deducted for the lever, or we've already noted it for deduction.
Yeah.
So we know it's here, but that will not be part of our examination for the clutch because we've done it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can
They
we
just
see?
wanted to note on the which is common on these, on the tachometer, the red line fades out a lot in the sun. This one is fairly faded, as most of them are.
As far as I know, it looks like an used motorcycle,
Yep.
unrestored.
Yes,
There is patina throughout on the paint and
Yep.
the motorcycle itself. We've already had a minor discussion on the paintwork, determining that the base color of the tanks really determine the trim colors. So this is, in effect, a correct paint scheme on the bike.
Okay. That's,
What you have just seen has been a judging on the field here by a team of judges and virtually judged. We've shown you excerpts from this. We hope you get a feel for what judging is in the AMCA, and we hope to see you on the judging field someday. We will go into greater detail and specifications at that time. But for now, we'd like to say, join us at the next national meet. If you have found your interest piqued by this video, there are representatives at all of our meets, ready and willing and able to bring you into our fold of antique motorcycle enthusiasts. Please see one of our representatives there for information how to become a judge, have your motorcycle judged, or both. You are welcome at all of our meets. Thank you.